I'm Carol from Sunbury, Ohio.
I'm a Republican, but I don't care who does the job as long as the job gets done. That's why I like Sherrod Brown. He stood up to both parties on China and worked with Republicans to fight fentanyl because Sherrod fights for Ohio. That's leadership.
Paid for by friends of Sherrod Brown.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know, to check you have the tickets in your wallet first before you drive 2 hours to the big game. Seriously, you had one job. Now the closest you'll get to the 50-yard line is parking lot D. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and... okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to anfieldindexpro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC and your daily reminder that the Reds are top of the league. Now, while this is your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC, today we're going to start with news out of Manchester United FC. Alex Ferguson has been sacked. Alex Ferguson, the man who retired 11 years ago, has been sacked by Manchester United from his role as global ambassador, a role for which he has been paid over £2 million per year, all while sabotaging the club at every turn with horrendous advice on which managers they should hire. He was behind the hirings of both Moyes, Mourinho, and most likely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. All of them failed at the club. Ferguson has dictated policy at the club. He's dictated hirings and firings in positions other than the manager's role, and all of which seems to have been some sort of attempt to protect his own legacy and ensure that the club didn't have any success after he left, so that everybody realised that the success was solely down to him. It just keeps getting funnier at United, though. Erik ten Hag is still in a job and they're sacking Alex Ferguson. You have to love it. You have to love it. This is Anfield have a list of the 10 Liverpool youngsters to watch in 24-25. So Cornel Michour, the young goalkeeper, the English-Polish goalkeeper, he's up first. I've seen some people say he's the most talented keeper they've seen come through our academy in recent years. And considering we had Quivin, considering we've had Yaros, and considering we also had Grabera, who's gone on to be very, very good, that's saying quite a lot. So, curious to see what the future holds for him over the next couple of years. He's still only 17, but by all accounts, he is very, very highly rated. Carter Pinnington is up next, young central defender. Again, another one that's highly regarded, can play both centre-back and a bit of left-back. Comfortable on the ball. He's big, he's strong, good in the air. One to keep your eyes on. Ronell Young, young striker. He's 18. Began as a winger, has been moved into more central areas. His movement, from the very limited footage that I've seen, his movement reminds me a little bit of Raheem. That anticipation, that little burst of speed to get into the right areas. Curious to see how he does this year playing with the 21s. DJ Esdale, 16-year-old right back. We love a good right back, don't we? Like, I saw someone point this out. We have England's best right back, Northern Ireland's best right back, arguably Scotland's best right back as well in Ramsey. He's just always hurt. And we produced Wales's best right back in Nico Williams. And here comes another right back who is very highly regarded. Looks like he could play not to the same level as Trent, but that he could play the right back role in a similar way to Trent, in that he's got a comfort on the ball that would allow him to invert into midfield and operate from there. So, curious to see how he develops this year. Does he make it up to the 21s? Alvin Eamon was one of our two big summer academy additions, 1.5 million from Wolves. Can play centre-back, can play as a box-to-box midfielder, but his best role is in that holding midfield position. And he's got the size, he's got the presence, he's got the ball-playing ability. He looks like he might be. I know Rio got all the hype in the summer, but speaking to Wolves fans, reading Wolves blogs, watching the footage that's available of him, he might be the one that makes it sooner because of his physical gifts and his positional sense and his ability to just manage a game from that base of the midfield. Ollie O'Connor, 16-year-old midfielder. There's no player I'm familiar with. Seems a young Scouse lad. Name like O'Connor, there's definitely some Irish in him, you'd imagine. Tremendous hair, which is always good. And yeah, an attacking midfielder who can also play a little bit deeper. Joe Bradshaw, 16-year-old winger. Brought in from Accrington Stanley a couple of years ago, can play either side. Rio, now, there's no doubting the talent level. Like, he looks ridiculously gifted. There's a lot going on, there's a lot of body parts moving, but a lot of it is also for misdirection and distraction. He looks a hell of a talent, like he really does. And when we signed him in the summer, Chelsea fans that follow their academy were fuming. Absolutely fuming that he'd been allowed to leave. And people that follow youth football in the UK were adamant that we'd gotten one of, if not the best, young English players in that age group. So that's exciting. Kieran Morrison, young Northern Irish attacker, he looks a player. He really does look a player. He's got something about him. Very, very fun player to watch. Amara Nalla then obviously brought in last summer from West Ham, centre back, and looks very much like he's on a fast track as well. Well, I'd assume that was part of how we were able to convince him to join, but he looks like he's got a very complete skill set. So looking forward to seeing what we get from him this year as well. You'd assume 21s, but maybe he gets some opportunities in some of the cups. Every member of Jurgen Klopp's departed staff are now in new jobs except for his number 2. Okay, so Pep and Linders obviously went to Salzburg. It's been a little bit up and down. Vitor Matos, he also went there to be the assistant coach. John Achterberg went to Al Ettifaq to join Steven Gerrard's coaching staff. Jack Robinson, who was the goalkeeping coach, is now the head of goalkeeping at US Soccer. I believe, didn't we hire the guy who was in that role? Isn't that what's happened there? Kornmeier is gone to Salzburg as well to be the performance manager. This one is interesting, though. Andreas Schlumberger, who was head of recovery, has taken on a role as professor at BSP Berlin. So moving out of the footballing sphere to become a professor in sports science and biomechanics. Fair play to him. Like, what more had he left to do in football? Might as well go and enjoy life, and I'd imagine that's a very fulfilling job, passing on his knowledge and working with young minds and stuff. I'd say he's doing very well. Brain training duo also left, Neuro 11, so we haven't kept up our contract with them. They've moved on. Taffarel obviously stayed. Lee Nobes, Connell Murta, Chris Morgan, Jordan Fairclough and Joel Lewis all stayed in the medical team. Jonathan Power is the Director of Medicine and Performance now. And obviously there's been a whole bunch of staff hired. So Krawietz is the only one that hasn't taken on a job. But it's funny with him. He said that if he was going to go and take on another job, it would be as a manager, that he wouldn't take on another coaching job unless it was with Jurgen. So with Jurgen not going back to coaching for now, I suppose it does mean that it's either management or just enjoy your spare time. I'd be curious to see how he'd do as a manager. Like, he'd been with Klopp a long, long time. And you would imagine that a lot of what we saw on the pitch was influenced by him. Like, Jurgen wasn't just keeping him around for that long just for the crack of it. He was chief scout with Mainz for Jurgen's entire tenure there. He went to Dortmund with him as assistant manager for his entire tenure there. And then he was the assistant manager with us for the entire tenure. So, I mean, 7.5 years at Mainz, 7 years at Dortmund, 6 years at Dortmund. And then the near 9 years at Liverpool. It's a lot of time to work with one person. As assistant manager, 808 games under Klopp, 810 in total, but Neil Critchley was technically the manager for two of them because Jurgen was away at the Club World Cup for one, and I can't remember what the other one was. It was another game Critchley took charge of. Either way, I would be curious to see how he'd do as a manager. Be hilarious if he was brilliant. It would genuinely be hilarious if he was brilliant. Like, he's only 52, so he's still a youngish man. He's got his pro license. There's no reason for him not to take the gamble. Unless he just doesn't want the hassle. But, like, what else is he going to do? Hopefully some club gives him a chance and we see what he can do. And it would be fantastic if he was brilliant. Imagine if he was just brilliant. It'd be so funny. Considering he was never one that anybody mentioned. Like, it was always about Linders. Linders will go do this, Linders will do that, Linders will do the other thing. Gerrard will do this, Gerrard will do that when he was in the academy. It would be just funny if he ended up being the best coach of the whole. Neil Critchley was obviously the one that was at the club under Jurgen. Michael Beale was at the club under Jurgen. It would be funny if he ended up being the best of the bunch. We have bad news ahead of Sunday's game against Chelsea. John Brooks is set to be the referee, and as we know, John Brooks is not very good. Michael Oliver is the VAR, so it's you could get too caught up in it and it would really annoy the life out of you. But Jesus wax, John Brooks and Michael Oliver, talk about a pair of clowns. Szoboszlai scored twice for Hungary in their game last night. I believe it was against Bosnia-Herzegovina. Let me check. Yeah, against Bosnia-Herzegovina away. One of the goals was a penalty. And Ibu, in the France-Belgium game, ended up wearing the armband for the second game in a row. This time, not because Zubimendi was taken off, but because he was sent off. And he had to carry William Saliba for the entire game. So if you haven't seen the goals, Saliba played Openda onside and then clattered into him in one of the clumsiest fouls you'll ever see to give away a penalty. Yuri Tielemans then missed the penalty. And then he was at fault for the Belgium goal as well, was Saliba, completely losing Openda in the box. So not a good outing for him, but Ibu played pretty well. And France went on to win 2-1 under Ibu's leadership, is how we're going to frame that one. We have the South American contingent in action tonight. Darwin, Diaz, and Ali Mack. Alexis is back in training. You would have hoped Argentina would have the decency to not play him, but I have a feeling he's going to play. There's a really good piece here on This Is Anfield, written by Sam Milne. It's an interview with Sami Hyypiä, and you have to go and read it. You just have to go and read it. If you're of a certain age, it'll be a great nostalgic kick, and if you're a younger fan, it's a really nice delve into modern history, but still history of the club. We can check out Liverpool.com today, because we've got a little bit of time, and we'll check out what Dave O.C. Kopp has got for us as well. We will not be checking Anfield Watch. There's a piece about Alonso, there's a piece about McAllister, piece about Ibu. Curtis Jones welcomes baby daughter with partner Safi in emotional 5-word post. Congrats to Curtis and his other half. There's a piece about Arne Slot and Dom Szoboszlai. Latest gossip has us again linked to Jeremy Frimpong, but also has Frimpong linked to Real Madrid as an alternative to Trent, which may hint at the beginnings of Real starting to feel like it's not as nailed on that they might get Trent, hopefully. John Henry brutally told he had bought the wrong club days after Liverpool purchase. Well, that's turned out to be nonsense. Darwin's not playing, is he? Darwin, isn't he suspended still? I think he's still suspended, isn't he? So Darwin's not playing tonight, so ignore me. Or is he? Let me see. Can he get a 4-game ban? Anyway, we can come back to that. And Liverpool duo criticised amid hopeless performance as sloppy Arne Slot favourite called out. Yeah, Gravenberch had a really poor game against Germany. Cody was poor as well, but it wasn't just the two of them. It was the entire Dutch team just looked absolutely lost. The midfield didn't work. All of them wanted to do the same type of things. It was really, really poor. Without Virgil, of course. But look, it happens. It happens. Where are we going next? Right. Ibu Konate shows Liverpool fans his worth as history made in the France game. That was him, obviously, wearing the captain's armband, which I think it's a really good thing for him as well, because one of the concerns we have when Virgil isn't there is a lack of leadership and organisation at the back. And if Ibu can be the one that steps into that role, so that when he and Kwanzaa are playing together, or he and Gomez, if Ibu can take on that leadership role, that can be a big thing for us, and obviously a big thing for him in the long run as well. I'm just looking at this thing with Darwin. So he was suspended for 5 games after the brawl thing that went on. I'm assuming this was one that was a game against Guatemala, where it was largely a home-based squad. Then, where are we going? He definitely missed the Uruguay, Paraguay, and Venezuela-Uruguay games in the last go-round. He played in the last game against Peru. So how was he banned for 5 games if he only missed 3? I'm very confused by this. It was the Colombia game that it happened in. So, he didn't play in this one, did he? He did play in that one. He played the Canada game, which is the 3rd and 4th place playoff. I'm so confused as to how he's playing. He's banned for 5 games. Did they alter the ban? Yeah, he was meant to miss the Peru and Ecuador games. I really don't know how he's playing. Oh, here we go. Darwin Núñez has been cleared to return to Uruguay after an appeal. He's been ordered to serve a 5-match ban, yada, yada, yada. Oh, so it was reduced to 3 on appeal. Okay, well then that makes sense, and I've just waffled for no reason. Dave C. copples a piece about an Inter Milan midfielder confirming he met Jurgen Klopp. I would assume it's Zielinski, obviously. I would assume it's summer of 2016 is when he met Jurgen. I can't imagine it's any time since, but maybe it was. Reece James's chances of facing Liverpool revealed by Sky Sports. Liverpool man receives green light in injury recovery. Harvey is back back, I think, running outside, which is good. There's a piece up about Luis Diaz, a piece about Curtis and his big news. Liverpool claim off-field bragging rights over Manchester United. Liverpool monitoring 15 million rated Serbian wonder kid. Let's have a look there. Romano reveals position Liverpool could strengthen. Let's have a look there. That was a bit of an older piece, but sure, we'll have a look anyway and see what it is. Right, Reece James. He's back training, perhaps an outside chance. He could be included, so no, he's probably not going to play. Liverpool claim off-field bragging rights. We get more visits to our club website than they do. So, yeah. Romano, what's he revealing other than the fact that he's a spoofer? Let's see. Okay, central defender. Yeah, central defender and midfield. Same things we were linked with all summer. Right, who is this Serbian youngster? Oh, the Maksimovic kid at Red Star Belgrade. Yeah, he's really, really highly thought of. The Serbian Messi. It's a bit aggressive, but yeah, he looks a hell of a player. does look a hell of a player. We'll see. We'll see if anything comes of 15 million. It seems unlikely that we would pay that much for a kid from the Serbian league, but you never know. If he's that highly regarded, it might be something we would look at doing. anfieldindex.com. God, this is slow. That's me, not the site. Right, here we go. Yeah, there's another piece up about Maksimovic. There is a piece about Loic Bade. Journalist, Liverpool set for huge legends clash, so the legends match to take place. Piece about Harvey and his progress. A piece about Salah. And then podcast-wise, there is the latest scouted and the David Lynch appearance on Media Matters. So check those out if you haven't already. We do have more coming this week. Let me just check this group that Guy has set up. There is to be a Live Birds pod this week. There's a big decisions pod, I think, coming today. Molby on the spot's a little bit up in the air for this week, so you just have to bear with us on that one. There is an Under Pressure to come this week as well, and we'll have, I think, 2 scouteds as well. So that's it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at anfieldindex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.